Hi there, Doug from BrainGrid. Over the last couple of years, there have been huge improvements to the way coding can be done with AI agents. Entrepreneurs without any coding experience can build complete functioning applications with tools like Lovable. For example, I built this application here. It's a to-do app, and you can see I've added some to-dos. I can add another one, right? And as I can complete tasks, I can, check them off, and then I can delete them once they're completed. Now, one of the things with Lovable is that you can only go so far. You can do a lot of great things, but sometimes you just hit the limits of the AI agents, and maybe you need to branch off into different tools. A previous post at BrainGrid showed you how to take your Lovable project and export it into GitHub. GitHub is a tool that all developers use for managing different versions of their code and code control. And so you can see here what I've done is I have taken that Lovable application and I've got it in my personal GitHub repository. Now what I want to do here is something that I couldn't do in Lovable. The Lovable application is a React application, and React is a fabulous framework for developing and prototyping applications. But once you get out into production, there are other frameworks that are a little bit better. And what I want to do is I want to migrate this React application to Next.js. Now you might say, why should I do that? I've got this working React app. Well, let's ask ChatGPT. And ChatGPT is like, Next.js isn't really different, but it's React with superpowers. And what it allows us to do is search engine optimization actually works. When you have a React application, there's a lot of JavaScript that has to download, and if the search agent crawler doesn't stay long enough, it might just see a blank page. So you don't get all that Google juice that you really want from your web pages. It loads faster. We don't want slow pages. Research shows that slow websites, people stop coming back. Simpler backend integrations. There's less JavaScript, there's image optimization built in. Now, as someone who's vibe coding your application, this may not sound super important, but it actually really is, because if it's easier for a human developer to build and create components for your application, it's going to be a lot faster and easier for AI agents to do the same thing. And since Lovable by default is in React, this is something that it can't do. So we're going to take the GitHub version of my application, and we're going to use BrainGrid to create the requirements and the tasks. So BrainGrid helps you prompt. It creates the prompts that create the requirements. And the requirements tell the developer, the AI, what to do. And then it also will break up all those requirements into tasks and prompts for each of those tasks, right? The requirements say, here's what I want it to do. The tasks are, here's the stuff you need to do to actually make it work. And then the prompts are what is told to the AI to actually complete the coding. Now, the first thing I need to do is I need to get this code local to my computer. So inside GitHub, I click the code button, and then I'm going to clone this URL. So I type in the terms git clone, and I paste in the repo. That copies that repo onto my computer. I'm going to move into that directory by change directory. And now I'm in that directory, and I can begin working with BrainGrid and Claude Code to update my application. In the description below, I'll have the link on all of the steps. The first step is to log into BrainGrid. I should already be logged in. Yep, so I'm already logged in. And then I want to initialize this repository to BrainGrid so it can begin working on it. And it's already found the project because I've already done some of the work here. So I'm going to say no because it's already initialized. And then the last step is I want to set up the Claude Code integration. And now I've got Claude Code all set up with my repository. I can now open up my code in VS Code, which is a development environment. And you can see here, I've opened up the claude.md file, and it describes all of the steps to use Claude to create the code that you want. And so the first thing we want to do is use this / command called specify, which creates the AI refinements from a vague idea. In the Claude tab, I type /specify, which is a / command telling Claude to use BrainGrid to create the prompts. I would like to convert this React app into a Next.js application. It says, okay, I can help you, and it walks through a whole bunch of stuff here. After a few minutes, it chugged through and said, hey, I've created the requirement. Here's what I want to have happen. Here's what we've planned and what needs to get done. So let's break these into tasks. Let's create a branch in GitHub. A branch is a way to isolate your code from the existing code. And that branch will have all of the Next.js code, whereas the main branch will still be React. And then let's build out the plan. And so I said, yes, let's do it. It comes up with 5 tasks that need to be completed to take the React app to Next.js. And I said, it says, are you ready to go? And how do you want to do it? I asked for detailed prompts. So it shows me all the detailed prompts. And then it says, are you ready to start? And I said, yes, let's go. And it starts doing all of the code. It starts updating task 1, all of the steps that need to be done for that first step. And then it works through all 5 tasks until the requirements are all complete. Now, while this running, Claude does ask questions. Hey, is it okay if I run this command? Hey, is it okay if I run that command? Because it's actually making changes to my code. You should look at those. But what Claude is doing is, before it writes any changes, it's just saying, hey, is that okay? Is it okay to run this command? You should look at those commands. But the ones that I saw looked pretty innocuous and looked like they made sense for doing this sort of development. After about a few minutes, I wasn't actually paying attention. It said, hey, migration complete. This React app has now been converted to Next.js 15. Here are the tasks that were completed, all 5 of them, all with lots of green check marks. And the migration results, hey, we've got it. Here's how it's going. You can then start the dev server and check it out. And I did that, and it worked. And that's awesome. So now I have this code, and we're ready to go. But how do I share that with my customers? I took it one step further, and I asked Claude to deploy this to Vercel. And so it walked through all the steps. It committed the code. It pushed the code up to GitHub. So now, even if my laptop dies, I've got a copy of this code up at GitHub. And then it installed Vercel. And it said, hey, there's 2 ways we can do it. And I said, no, let's just do it through the command line, and you do all the work for me. And it did. It went through and did all the work for me. I did have to, create a Vercel account and authenticate. But at the end of all of this, it says, hey, your app is now live on Vercel. So you can visit it. You can set up deployments. You can set up that custom domain. Like, you probably don't want to use a URL that looks like this, but you can set up a custom domain so that it can be like myapp.com, and then people can come visit your application. And here we can see the app at chill to do vibes, Doug Siller's projects.vercel.app. And we can see that I'm planning to go to the grocery store, and I'm planning to make some chicken noodle soup. So as I get to the store, I can start crossing off the items as I put them into my basket. And so this is a fully running Next.js application. And with just a few prompts using BrainGrid and Claude Code, I was able to migrate it to Next.js and then launch it at Vercel. This is a really powerful set of tools that allow entrepreneurs and those who aren't super experienced coders to quickly add features and improve their applications and push them to production, realizing a vision that would in the past have required a team of developers. This is super exciting, so watch this channel for more videos on how you can leverage tools like BrainGrid to help build SaaS applications. Thanks for watching.